What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this evening. So what we're going to be talking about in this update is a little bit of the technical analysis on what we're seeing on AMC on some of the longer time frames like we like to do. Now, yesterday's video, when we talked about this kind of analysis, we were preparing for what could have happened based on the CPI report that came out this morning. Now, I gave you guys a specific price point to look out for kind of a low of what we could see on AMC today, and it came down to that level by about 2 cents. So we're going to take a look at that again today and see what we're looking at going into the future. We're going to be taking a look at the short interest data on Ortex. In addition to this, we also have a very, very key piece of SEC regulation that has been delayed all the way out until 2024. And in addition, we're going to be talking about the prospects for a gamma squeeze on AMC and GME because both of these stocks are sitting at very, very key and interesting points right now that I want all of you guys to be very well aware of. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So AMC closed the day today at $15.14, down 46 cents or 2.95%. Again, very, very volatile day after the CPI data came out. But when we take a look at AMC on this 4-hour time frame here, this was the candle that I wanted you guys to look out for when the CPI was coming out. We saw AMC shoot down with the entire market, come up and touch this 13 EMA on this 4-hour time frame here, and then start to make its way back up. Now, towards the end of the day, we did see a little bit of a sell-off, and we ended up coming and finishing right around this 13 EMA again. Now, when we're looking at this chart here, we have the RSI crossing down below its moving average, but it's still above 50, so still in relatively bullish territory. But we do have the MACD and the shaft trend cycle flipping back to the downside, and these are indicators of momentum. So what we really need to see is a hard bounce off of this 13 EMA here, which honestly could be a little bit difficult tomorrow. We're going to be getting producer price index data at 8:30 a.m. We're also going to be getting the jobs report and JP Morgan earnings. So the bank earnings are starting. So there's a lot of economic catalysts coming out that are going to be moving the market, and that's obviously going to be influencing the trading of AMC just based on how much of the market is controlled by overall algorithms. But when we take a look at AMC on the daily time frame over here, we still have this call signal on the daily. We are still well below the 200 EMA on the daily, which is sitting right now at $19.72. But again, overall in this daily time frame, we are still looking very, very solid. So coming over and taking a look at the Ortex short interest data right here, we're at 18.42% estimated. That's up from in the 17% range yesterday when we were seeing the exchange reported short interest data come out. As you guys can see right here, we've got 19.67%. That was reported by the exchange yesterday. 14.65% max cost to borrow, the average 11.81%. Now, let's get into this situation with what the SEC has just done. Now, what this really shows us right now is that retail investors and the people who are really being affected by some of these manipulative tactics in the market are not being helped at all. So make sure you guys engage with this video, hit that like button down below, and let's get into it over here. So this has to do with the CAT system, or the Consolidated Audit Trail system. So we talked about this last week when beginning of this week, I believe, when Hester Peirce came out and basically said that she wanted to see this part of the CAT system delayed. Now, the CAT system is getting rolled out on what is basically a phased basis where they're going to unleash and unveil some of the parts of the system in waves. Now, the SEC delays part of market surveillance initiative until 2024. But opponents, including SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce, want the agency to scrap the entire project. Now, looking at what the CAT system exactly is, the CAT, a project designed to give the SEC and other regulators comprehensive market insight, has proved much harder and more expensive to implement than anyone anticipated, and that was the comment from Hester Peirce. So, what the CAT system is essentially enabling a lot of these institutions to do is basically analyze a lot of the trading that is going on in the market in real time so they can see all of the nefarious activities that are going on and act accordingly to try and protect retail investors. And the fact that this has been delayed out all the way until 2024 is not a good thing in terms of creating retail investor confidence in the SEC and the regulatory agencies. Now, I know a lot of you guys might be thinking at this point, well, this isn't necessarily a really good thing to see what is going to happen with the squeeze. And the question that you need to ask yourself then is, why do you think the SEC is going to cause the squeeze? I've said this many, many, many times in the past that most likely what the SEC is going to do is they're going to come in after a potential very, very volatile event to the upside and then trying to figure out what happened and try to basically limit any of those effects happening again in the future. In my opinion, they're not going to do anything that is going to basically trigger a lot of short covering or a lot of buying pressure in the overall market. That's not really what their mandate or job actually is. And we saw the January 2021 and the June 2021 run without really the bulk of the system actually in place. So it is still very, very possible for us to get aggressive moves to the upside without the SEC coming in and actually policing the market the way that they are actually supposed to. But in general, right here, this is not giving any retail investor confidence in the overall market right now or in the regulatory agencies that are supposed to be helping retail investors. So that's going to kind of wrap it up on this section, but let's talk about the gamma potential for AMC and GME right now, because everything is looking very, very, very interesting. So when we come down and take a look at the amount of calls and puts that are in the money and out of the money going into this week, again, this is a pretty big week in terms of the amount of open interest that is on the option chain. So we have 73,000 calls in the money and 69,000 puts. So that's pretty even right now. We're not seeing a giant imbalance. Now, when we come over and take a look at AMC's actual options chain, we've done this a few times, but things are going to change throughout the days. We've got 24 or 25,000 call contracts at 15. There's a decent amount at 16 right here, 16,000. And then 20 is going to be that key level where, in my opinion, we can then really have that conversation of, yeah, we're pretty much in a gamma squeeze once we crack and hold above some of these levels due to the vast amount of call options that are going to be running in the money and the amount of put contracts that are going to be running out of the money at that $20 level. But the other thing that we need to think about here is with GME. Now, GME has a lot smaller of a float. Now, with 18,000 call contracts in the money right now, that's about 1.8 million shares, but with about 73, I believe, million shares in the float right now for GME. I could be wrong on that number. I believe it's around 70 million. When you're looking at the amount of calls in the money in relation to the amount of shares there actually is, this could cause some decent buying pressure to the upside. Now, when you take a look at GME over here, let's pull this up again and look at some of the key levels here. Well, on the put side, we don't really have anything crazy up until we get up to 150, but on the call side, we sent these 140s in the money and these 135s, and we're hunting these 145s over here as well. 150, again, going to be another key level. Very similar to what we like to call AMC's $20 level in terms of the amount of call contracts running in the money and the amount of put contracts that are running out of the money. Now, again, to kind of tie this up all in a nice little bow, all of these little gamma squeeze situations and the conversations that we have about this are all if this then that statements. I know I use that term a lot, but again, we have a lot of really interesting catalysts coming up tomorrow and Friday. We're going to be getting retail sales numbers on Friday. We're going to be getting a lot of other economic data as well that is going to be market moving, combined with the other pieces of economic data that we were talking about earlier in this video, the producer price index at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. We're also going to be getting the jobs report, and the bank earnings are starting as well. So we have a lot of crazy things happening. So hopefully we can get a nice little bounce going into the end of this week. And then next week, we are going to be getting that GME stock split through a shared dividend. So that is going to wrap up this update on AMC and GME. If you guys enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.